Good evening and welcome to War Thunder. This is Old Dead Man, your host. Looks like we've got a whole load of dev blogs that have come in, plus a dev server that was put out, which I wasn't able to get onto. It was overloaded with participants, so I wasn't able to join in. But since I'm behind on dev blogs, let's get those run through real fast. I'm going to do all the dev blogs in one long video with little short segments on each vehicle and each piece of interesting information. And I'll put links down in the description for different spots in the video in case you want to jump ahead into the various spots. All right, starting off with number 1. Introducing new hangars. War Thunder is bringing new, more active, and interesting hangars to the game, with each vehicle type receiving their own unique location. For ground vehicles, army trucks rush by, the shooting range is in active use, and aircraft patrol overhead. For aircraft, mechanics wander to and fro, bombs are checked, and other of your aircraft are visible nearby. And naval vessels are in a bay, flanked by a suspension bridge and cargo port. Other warships float nearby, while float planes bob on the waves. This is part of the next update to War Thunder, New Power, coming to a device near you. It's a bird! It's a plane! It's a chopper! No, it's a Harrier. The first vertical takeoff and landing aircraft will arrive in the game with the next update, New Power. The US will be receiving the AV-8A in their Rank 5 premium tree, and the British will start with the Harrier GR1 as a Rank 5 premium. The tech tree vehicles will be the AV-8C and the Harrier GR3 respectively, both in Rank 6. The Harrier began when Hawker Aircraft developed a design for a NATO specification calling for a light tactical support fighter, utilizing a Bristol Engine Company-designed vectored thrust engine. The British Treasury didn't support the early development, but NATO's Mutual Weapon Development Program kept the cash flowing. The initial proof of concept was called the Hawker Siddeley Kestrel and evaluated by a multinational squadron. At this point, the British went ahead with an order for the Harrier GR1 that was put into service in 1969. The United States Marine Corps got on board with 102 of the AV-8A delivered between 1971 through 1976. This model used the better engine delivered on the Harrier GR3. Speaking of, the Harrier GR3 received better sensors, a laser tracker, and electronic countermeasures suite and a more powerful engine. The AV-8C was a stopgap upgrade to the AV-8A while they waited on additional AV-8Bs to be delivered, and likewise received electronic countermeasures and a radar warning receiver. The Harrier and variants are subsonic attack aircraft expected to carry a variety of ordnance options, including air-to-air missiles, bombs, and unguided rockets. It shines in the multi-role capacity rather than focusing on either role exclusively. The SMS Westfalen was a Nassau-class battleship that was laid down in 1907, launched in 1908, and commissioned into the High Seas Fleet in 1909. She carried a main battery of 12 28cm or 11-inch guns and 6 twin turrets in a hexagonal arrangement. She was powered by 12 boilers, feeding 3 triple expansion steam engines into 3 screws for a total of 21,600 horsepower. This powered her up to 20.2 knots with a design speed of only 19. She had a complement of 40 officers and 968 men. In addition to the main battery, she also carried 12 15cm guns, 16 88mm guns, and 6 45cm submerged torpedo tubes. Her belt and conning tower were armored to 300mm with turrets at 280mm and 160mm of armor on the battery. The Westfalen operated throughout World War I, including bombardment operations on Scarborough, Hartlepool, and Whitby. She was involved in the Battle of the Gulf of Riga and the quintessential Battle of Jutland. She was torpedoed in August 1916 by the British submarine HMS E-23, but made it back to port. The Westfalen was deployed to Finnish waters in support of ground troops, then later to the North Sea. En route to the North Sea, she suffered boiler damage that restricted her to a meager 16 knots, resulting in her being decommissioned. She was handed over to the Allies in August 1920 and broken up for scrap by 1924. In War Thunder, the Westfalen will be joining Germany's Rank 5 naval lineup. As there is no mention in the devblog of the torpedo tubes, I am currently assuming they will not be present in the released ship. In the modern world, nothing projects political and military power like the arrival of a modern aircraft carrier. While these beauties joining War Thunder are not quite up to the modern specification, they do sport the newer angled decks that came into vogue in the 1950s. Designed by Royal Navy Captain Dennis Campbell, the angled deck allows for simultaneous launch and re-embarkment of aircraft, larger islands that improve ship handling and flight control, and left an area open amidships for arming and fueling aircraft. An aborted landing could now be handled with greatly reduced risk to equipment and personnel aboard. The HMS Ark Royal was the first purpose-designed aircraft carrier built with the angled deck. Previous ships that were converted to an angled deck include the USS Antietam and HMS Centaur, and an upgrade was deployed for the Essex and Midway classes. In War Thunder, these AI-controlled vessels will adorn naval-based air maps. The HMS Ark Royal, the USS Forrestal, and the Baku from the UK, US, and Russia respectively will represent their host nations. No word on whether the Germans are going to have an aircraft carrier, but the rumor is they were just removing the turret from a mouse chassis and deploying that as their aircraft carrier in-game. Speaking of Germany, get ready for more complaints about OP vehicles. The Germans got out a Medigun and ubercharged their Leopard 2A5 into an upgunned Leopard 2A6. With a longer, more accurate Rheinmetall RH-120 cannon and a modern kinetic shell, the 2A6 promises to be a force to be reckoned with on the battlefields of War Thunder. It's everything you loved about the 2A5 with more bang for your 120mm buck. The Settsu was the second and last of the Kawachi-class dreadnought battleships built for the Imperial Japanese Navy. She was ordered in 1907, laid down in 1909, launched in 1911, and completed in 1912. The Settsu participated in World War I, where her only combat action was the Battle of Tsingtao, and was disarmed in 1922. For the radio control enthusiasts, she was outfitted with a remote radio control system that allowed her to be maneuvered by operators aboard a nearby destroyer, which helped her with her role as a target ship. She was used in 1941 in an attempt to deceive the Allies during World War II. She remained a target ship throughout the war and was sunk in 1945, probably by U.S. forces looking to use it as a target ship. Post-World War II, she was refloated and scrapped in either 1946 or 47. The Settsu carried 12 12-inch guns in two different barrel lengths placed in twin turrets, 10 6-inch guns, 8 4.7-inch guns, and 12 3-inch guns in single mounts. She also had 5 18-inch torpedo tubes. She displaced 21,443 long tons, was 533 feet long, 84 feet 2 inches abeam with a draft of 27 feet 10 inches. Her 16 boilers drove 2 steam turbine engines for a total of 25,000 shaft horsepower. This drove her to a speed of 21 knots. She had a crew complement between 999 and 1,100. In War Thunder, the Settsu will have its entire weapons complement and adorn the Rank 5 Japanese naval tree. Radio control is not expected to be installed. The U.S. naval line will be fielding the USS North Dakota BB-29. She was laid down in 1907, launched in 1908, and commissioned in 1910. Her armaments include a main battery of 10 12-inch guns, 14 5-inch guns, 2 3-pounders, 4 1-pounders, and 2 21-inch submerged torpedo tubes. In the American style of Mordaka, this ship is designed to bring its entire main battery to bear in a devastating broadside. She was part of the force used during the U.S. occupation of Veracruz in 1914, but was kept in a training capacity near American shores during World War I, and thus did not directly participate in combat. She was decommissioned in November 1923 and converted into a radio-controlled target ship. RC fans would swoon if they could do that today with a full-on battleship. She was removed from that role in 1930 and scrapped in 1931. The North Dakota displaces 20,380 tons, has a length of 518 feet 9 inches overall, a beam of 85 feet 3 inches, and a draft of 27 feet 3 inches. Her 14 coal-fired superheating Babcock and Wilcox water tube boilers drove 2 Curtiss steam turbines into her 2 screws for a total of 25,000 shaft horsepower and a speed of 21 knots. She had a crew complement of 933 officers and men. In War Thunder, the USS North Dakota will be gracing the top of the U.S. Rank 5 naval tree with her entire weapons complement and 1,384 crew members. Once again, radio control is not expected to be part of the package. The T-90 is a third-generation Russian main battle tank that entered service in 1993 in its original model and in 2004 in its A model variant. Weighing in at 46.5 tons, this tank is 9.63 meters long in the hull, with 3.78 meters wide and 2.22 meters tall with a 3-man crew. The armor consists of a steel composite reactive blend fielding the Contact 5 armor package. She is armed with the 2A46M-2 125mm smoothbore gun and carries 42 rounds. She has a 12.7mm heavy machine gun and a 7.62mm light machine gun. Powered by a V92S2 12-cylinder diesel engine, she produced 950 horsepower with a 20.4 horsepower per ton power-to-weight ratio and a top speed of 60 kilometers per hour. She also sports torsion bar suspension, just in case you're looking for a new suspension for your Porsche. In War Thunder, the T-90A will be powering the top of the Rank 7 Russian tank tech tree and armed with ATGMs, APFSDS, and Contact 5 armor. She will also have the electro-optical jammer and laser IR warning systems installed. The jammer works on auto-guidance systems with optical feedback, but not on laser or laser beam guidance missiles. And that's all the Devblogs to catch up. Hope you enjoyed that. We'll see if we can keep on top of things in the future going forward. It looks like they're also going to make this the patch, the 2.0 patch, so we're looking at that full big upgrade in the upcoming update, New Power. Hope you have a great rest of your day.